Well, it's another day, which means the US government is putting forth another questionable bill. And this is probably take two on banning TikTok. Is it really about TikTok, though? Let's take a look. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach, the Wretched Watchman, and I'm bringing you a little bit of news when it comes to the banning of TikTok and government funded bills and all these other wonderful things that aren't exactly what they seem to be. And this is usually what happens when it comes to government bills is they're always trying to hide things in there. They're always trying to add things and slide things through without people really paying attention to what's going on. We've covered things from the Patriot Act to the surveillance bill, FISA, and all those things, and we see that there's more than just what everybody thinks are in those bills, and we got to see more. The CARES Act was another one that we went over as well. Well, we got another one, which I'm sure a lot of people are hearing about. They know about. They're at least aware about what's going on, and it's all under the name of banning TikTok. It's about protecting United States and its citizens from the Chinese invasion of the United States. And I'm saying that in a sarcastic manner because if you've seen my channel, if you've heard me talk about geopolitics, then you definitely understand that I firmly believe that China and the US are not at war like people think, but they're actually all working for the same globalist cabal. And I've gone over videos and I've shown documents and whatnot that proves such things. But the theater that they like to put on is the US is at war at China, and China's trying to invade and trying to hack and trying to shut down and do all these types of things because they're at war with them. And when we look at bills like this, most of the people in the United States go along with what they're told. Oh, it's about banning TikTok. Now you got all the younger generation who use TikTok that don't like it just due to the fact of that, but a lot of them will just go along with it because it's Chinese, it's China, it's bad. Okay, enough sarcasm. Now, I said this is take two, and this is definitely take two because about 11 months, a year ago, I actually covered a different bill that came out. It was called the Restrict Act, and that never made it past introduction. And when you read it, when you go over the information packed in the bill, you can see why it never really made it through because there was so much stuff in there that was just so people were aware of the power grab that was being done, and so it never went through. But what they're doing is in a slimmed down version with a lot more general wording and vagueness to make it seem like it's not such a big power grab. They're trying take two on this, which actually passed the House. And so there's definitely a lot of things involved with this. So let's take a look. What bill am I talking about? This is HR 7521, or known as Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. And as you can see, it has passed House down there on the little tracker. Will it go further and will it make it through? We don't know. We're just going to kind of pay attention. But as I said, this thing is much vaguer, much more generalistic on what they're trying to do, and there's less detail about the power grab that would be involved, but I will definitely say that there is a power grab. So this is about a 13-page bill. I read through the bill. I got some information on it, and I just want to show a few sections of the bill itself and then kind of give a breakdown of what this thing actually means, because when it comes to these things, when it comes to these bills, there's a lot of hearsay. There's a lot of exaggeration. There's a lot of information that gets passed around that's not necessarily verified. They just kind of go off of what they see on social media or what their friends say and whatnot. So I want to take a look and actually give you guys some information about what this bill actually says and what it actually means. So that's what we're going to do. So let's take a look at a few sections of this just to give you an idea of what's going on. And it's a section 2, prohibition of foreign adversary controlled applications. In general, prohibition of foreign adversary controlled applications. It shall be unlawful for an entity to distribute, maintain, or update, or enable the distribution, maintenance, or updating of a foreign adversary controlled application by carrying out within the land or maritime borders of the United States of any of the following. And it goes through a few things. And I noticed there was a section for providing internet hosting services to enable the distribution, maintenance, or updating. So not just the apps themselves, but the service that would distribute it. So we're getting a little bit of information about how wide and broad this thing goes. It says foreign adversary controlled application. The term foreign adversary controlled application means a website. Okay, so not just application and not just a hosting, but website, desktop application. So this includes computers, mobile application, so your phone, or augmented or immersive technology such as VR and whatnot. Application that is operated directly or indirectly, including through a parent company, subsidiary, or affiliate by any of ByteDance, which owns TikTok. So they got ByteDance and TikTok on there. But it also goes down and says a covered company is controlled by a foreign adversary and that is determined by the president to present a significant threat to the national security of the United States following the instance of a public notice proposed such determination and a public report to Congress submitted not less than 30 days, and so on and so on. So it's talking about either ByteDance and TikTok, anything affiliated with that, or a controlled company deemed a foreign adversary. And so this is broad. It's hosting, it's application for phone, desktop computers like laptops and regular desktop computers, and VR, augmented type of stuff, as well as, again, hosting and websites in general, and all of these things. So there's a lot of a broad general information package that's being put in this. It's not so specific as it, like, again, if you go and you read the Restrict Act, they were specific. They listed many different things all the way to quantum computing and everything. But this time they're being a lot more general. They're still using the foreign adversary, which was part of their plan when it came to the Restrict Act. But they're using that again to just deem anything foreign against national security, and they can start going from there. So let's look at a breakdown. I just showed you a few sections. Again, the entire bill, I believe, is 13 pages. And let's just break down what exactly this bill means and what's included in it to make it easy for us to swallow this thing, to really get, an idea of what's going on without all the complicated mumbo jumbo stuff. So HR 7521, or the TikTok bill. It is designed to block foreign adversary controlled apps, or FACAs. So foreign adversary controlled apps. We already read that a couple times in the section. So what does this mean? It prohibits foreign adversary controlled applications from operating in the United States. It applies to app stores and internet hosting providers as well. So your Apple Store, Google Play Store, and anything that is hosted on internet providers, like, how Amazon has theirs and Google Cloud has theirs. I believe there's the iCloud from Apple, things like that. So it's the stores and the hosting services. Creates a new kill switch, blocking apps or websites at the App Store or hosting level. So if any of these stores or hosts are deemed part of the FACAs or the FACAs, then there's a new kill switch that the U.S. government has where they can just flip it and turn it off, which means it's restricting it from getting distributed any further. The FACA is classified as any website, desktop app, mobile app, or VR app operated by ByteDance or TikTok. We went over that. And here we go. We get a little bit more. Almost any social media or content sharing website, anything from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube to Rumble and further. So any social media or content sharing website, desktop app, mobile app, or VR app that has more than 1 million monthly active users if It's controlled by a foreign adversary, and the president determines it to be to present a significant threat to national security. Now we're gonna. It's very broad again on that. I'll kind of give a breakdown on what that means. But we're seeing it's not just ByteDance or TikTok, even though this is called the TikTok bill. It's to ban TikTok, and that's how it's being presented, and that's what everybody knows. No, there's more. There's more. Any social media or content sharing website, any that has a content sharing. I hope people realize, because again, I brought this up before when I was talking about how they're trying to present these bills to protect kids online by making age verification and digital IDs to do so. And they just generalize social media. Well, they never define what that means. In general, social media is any type of location online, like a website, that has a section for people to comment. If one or two people can comment on, like, say you go to a CNN website and there's a comment section on an article that they wrote, that would be deemed social media and content sharing. So that would fall under this bill. That's what I mean. It's so general, it's so vague. They never actually define what that means, so they can just make it up as they go. So any website that has something like that would fall under this bill. That's how broad and dangerous this thing actually is. Everybody wants to just break it down to, oh, they're trying to shut down Twitter or Rumble or whatever. No, this goes much, much further than that. You want to talk about censorship? Here it goes. So if any of them, of those types of websites have more than 1 million monthly users active, and it's deemed to be controlled by a foreign adversary, and the president determines it to present a security threat, it can then fall under this bill. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's get some definitions that they provide in this bill. What is classified as controlled by a foreign adversary? What the bill defines this as is domiciled in, headquartered in, or organized under the laws of a U.S. deemed, so whatever the U.S. government deems, a foreign adversary country. As of right now of this recording, that includes China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. Or, so that's one, but or would be, number two would be, has a 20% ownership group from one of those countries. We're starting to get into some mud here with that. Or, that's right, they give three different variables. So either domiciled, headquartered in one of those countries, has a 20% ownership group from one of those countries, or is subject to the direction or control of a foreign person or entity from one of those countries. Now, this is where it gets sticky, really, really sticky. And it's up for just determination of the government, subject to the direction or control of. So they you notice how they split subject of direction and control. They make them two separate things. So this is where we start seeing just judgment calls come in, because under direction doesn't mean under control of, meaning if the attorney general believes that the U.S. company is under the direction of a foreign person or entity, either China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, such and such, then the president could declare it as such. I'll give you an example, which I'm sure a lot of people understand. Remember when everybody was claiming Russian interference during the election? And they were saying there was social media accounts and websites that were helping with said Russian interference. Any one of those websites or applications or social media sites that was deemed as such under this bill could be deemed as a foreign adversary and can be cut. It could be silenced. It could be restricted. That's what's going on with this bill. That's what they're trying to do with this. This ain't about TikTok. Like I said, China is fully they're sitting at the same table as the United States when it comes to this. They're all under control of the same cabal. This is just how it goes. But this is a way for them to use the political theater in order to bring across a bill to bring in mass censorship on anybody that they so choose. And as we can see, it's so vague, it's so broad, it's so generalized that it's just a judgment call where if they go, oh, wow, this is under the influence of the Russians, we're going to have to deem it a foreign adversary and shut it down. They can take control of anything that they so choose. And this is where it starts getting sticky, guys. This is where things start getting. We knew it was coming. Censorship, we knew it's coming. This is something that they've been working on, especially when you look at the WHO pandemic treaty. Part of that has to do with controlling misinformation and online information as well. And this sure seems like a step to bring this into play so they can transfer that over to the WHO as well. There's a lot of things at play on this. It's not about banning TikTok. It's not about the election either, as a lot of people want to try and make it as such. The election is a selection. It means absolutely nothing. They've got their guy handpicked that they're going to put in place no matter what. This has to do with gaining control of the internet. That's what this is, gaining control of the internet. This bill is not good. And because of its vagueness and its broadness, this is much more dangerous than the Restrict Act ever was, and it's already made it further than the Restrict Act did as well. Keep an eye on this, guys. Keep an eye on this. Don't fear. Don't worry. It's the last thing that we need to do. We're told, don't ever do that. The Lord tells us over and over and over and over again, do not fear, do not worry. Keep your faith strong in the Lord, like a child, unwavering faith and unwavering trust. The Lord got us this far. He's not going to abandon us now. Just keep an eye on this, though. This ain't good. All right, guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace out. Maranatha.